Hello, this is Miguel Marquina, and I am sharing my assignment and sharing a little infographic that I created myself to display some key ideas and some strategy that I will be implementing on my business venture. Okay, so let me begin with answering some questions. So, based on this, there's a series of 3 questions for the first part where I'm being asked, is the information accurate? Yes, I do believe the information is accurate. Can the results be gathered quickly? They can, if you know where to look and what to look for. Can you get a reliable result that is targeted towards your audience? Yes, you can, and that is the primary strategy that I will be implementing on my business venture. Okay, so how do I go about doing that? I will mention that in the last part of the questionnaire. What disadvantages exist for this type of research discussed in the previous step? The disadvantage is that a lot of this information is good information, but it is a very broad and general as it attempts to fit in to all scenarios. So it basically is a breakdown or a general rule of thumb that applies to most businesses. So a lot of this information needs to be sifted through and use what applies to your certain scenario. So that is the only real disadvantage to the reading for this week, is that a lot of these strategies and ideas don't necessarily apply to all business ventures. So that's the only disadvantage. One might get misled if they're not careful. So, is the information updated regularly? Websites tend to take a little bit longer when it comes to updating information, whereas blogs, which are better, are a good way of business owners to attempt to connect with consumers, because it gives business owners a good insight as to how their clients or customers feel about the business, about the product, about the professionalism of it all. So it's a great way for business owners to tap into very important information that, once again, is free. So I think blogs are great. They're a way for owners to kind of buzz in on what's going on in the consumer gossip, if you will. So I would much rather go with blogs than I would websites for the utmost and accurate information that's been updated. Is there a charge to access the information that you need? Not necessarily. Yes and no. A lot of these services that offer free surveys and things of that nature tend to come with some type of hitch or some kind of gimmick. Most of them, if you're not careful. A lot of them advertise maybe their particular company, which, if you're running a professional venture and you want to have a professional outlook or you want to come off with a professional image, um, getting free surveys and free services in general may not be the best option. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not cutting it out completely, because there are options. And if you're savvy enough, resourceful and savvy, you can dig deep and find good, reliable sites that offer free information with very little to no advertisement. Does the sample contain information that is too broad to apply? Again, yes, in a sense that these are golden rules, and yes, they're strategies, but they don't necessarily apply to every business venture. Okay, now back to what I was going to answer in part 1 of the questions. What type of research methods will I use to collect additional information about my venture? I've created my own personal infograph here to display and to show some approaches and some strategies and ideas that I've stirred up based on the reading and based on my research. So the marketing research that I'm going to use is going to take from a secondary approach, which is great because it's free and because the information's already been gathered by someone else, i.e. consensus, municipalities, federal websites, things of that nature. So if the information is free and it's accurate, why not take advantage of it? So I'm always looking for a cost-effective way to find an answer to a solution as much as possible. So that's the first approach that I would take, is going through a secondary type of market research. Now, some of the online market research tools and methods that I will be using to find accurate readings and data will make sure that I implement keyword searches. So that is very important to find accurate information, because the more accurate it is that the more you know about what you're looking for, and the better you phrase what you're looking for, you'll have more and more accurate response as to what you pull up on your marketing research missions. Okay, so moving on to the second part of my discussion. This is how I'll be implementing some of my strategies. So the first thing I want to do is I want to gauge potential demand. I want to get my feelers out there and get a feel for what customers, what's trending out there as far as profits that are being made in my line of business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some online services that get information through surveys, and based on that, I'm going to start to gain some demographics. So I'm going to start to get an idea of who my audience is, what age group they're in, maybe what area they're coming from, and I will start to develop an image based on my customer feedback. So that way I can begin to start to cater to that, and to cater and facilitate to that demand, to find out the more I know of my customers, the better I'll be in catering to that demand. So that's the first thing. Okay, moving along. Of course, like I said, I am going to use surveys. And my question on my surveys will always be, how can I make the experience better for my consumers? How can I make it more simpler? Make it a more effective website as far as simplicity, navigation. Questions of, was everything easy to find? So navigation is important, because I feel like if you have a website that is very large and it's very hard to navigate, chances are that customers are not going to spend too much time perusing through that website. So I'll make sure that it's clean, simple, and accurate. Okay, so according to the reading, I'm going to use the 60%, the median of my audience that purchase items on my website. And I'm going to begin to target those people and begin to gain accurate information and data from them. How will I be doing that? I will be giving them surveys that are no longer than 5 to 15 minutes to complete. Very simple. And I will also add some incentive and rewards for taking the time out to fill out that particular survey. Incentives like, discounts off purchases, maybe free shipping, things of that nature. Something that would, strong enough incentive that would make them want to take, the couple minutes out of their busy schedule to fill out a quick survey that would benefit both of us. So once I started to do that, like I said, my website is going to be good, excellent, and simple with very clear and concise formatting. The surveys are going to be very simple, trying to not ask too many personal questions, and gather as much as information as I can from the quick surveys. Once it's feasible, I'll get my friends and family to test drive the surveys, maybe get them to take a test drive and tell me what they think as far as what works and what doesn't. And so based on that information that I get from the survey, I will look for patterns in the data. Particular patterns. What's trending? What are customers, where are they spending most time at on my website? What links are they going to the most? What are getting the most hits? What tools are they using to find my website? Things of that nature I'll be investigating once I get my data back from the surveys. Also, I will also implement aha moments very quickly and precisely after I do my research from the result of what information that I got from the survey. I conduct interviews with my best customers, the ones that are easiest to talk to and the most frequent. Then I will, through those interviews, I'll get to know my customers on an intimate level, know what they like and what they dislike, and compare it to the average consumer. Then I will tend to narrow my strategy more and to begin to formulate focus groups and come up with ideas and solutions and test those ideas with professionals, consultants with experience in the marketing business, so that I can begin to come up with solid, feasible strategies for getting my customers to spend more time and more money on my website. Okay, so that is pretty much the gist of what I have so far as strategies and what I pulled from the readings. So once again, my name is Miguel, and thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation, and have a wonderful day.